reflections on building my list builder, my lead magnet, my asset that I will trade for my prospect's email address on the interweb, part 3. Now this is foundational stuff, people. Having that list builder, that asset that you can give in exchange for someone's email address is incredibly powerful. It's an asset that we must have as online business owners, as course creators, as coaches, as consultants, as a heart-centered entrepreneur. We need that asset. It's foundational. It's a foundational piece of our online business. So this is part 3. I'm going to talk about what mine is and a bit on how I used Chat GPT to help me create it.
You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy.
Part 3 of building your list builder, your lead magnet, your foundational asset of your company. This is a foundational piece of your company, having that thing that you can trade for your customer's email address. Again, I'm going to presuppose, which is kind of like saying I'm going to assume, I'm going to trust that you know how important it is as we're building an online business to capture people's emails, to capture our prospects' emails, to capture our interested parties' emails. This is foundational stuff of having an online business, of being a coach, a course creator, a consultant, an online entrepreneur, a heart-centered entrepreneur. And on the last episode, I gave you the framework on how to build it. I'll recap it again right now, but you can listen to the previous episode, part 2, to get more details. Basically, we're going to create a top 10, a guide to X, answering the top 10 questions that your audience has about X. So, for example, the top 10 questions that online business owners, coaches, course creators have about guest speaking on podcasts. How about the top 10 questions that sober women have about having a healthy mind, body, soul, eating for a healthy mind, body, soul in recovery? Another one could be top 10 questions that millennials have about growing their retirement. You get the idea. And then your guide has a glossary. Not a glossary, it has an outline. What's the thing that shows you the layout, like the different chapters? Whatever, we'll call it the outline. Starts with an outline, then it has your introductory letter, the hi, I'm Misha, and then it has the top 10 questions, the answers to those questions, and a story about each answer. And then you end with a conclusion, and then you have an appendix that has any templates or whatever you're adding to it to spice it up. And so I've created mine for, it's a guesting guide. I've called mine it's a guesting guide, and it's, here, I'm going to give it to you exactly. You can go to guestingguide.com and check it out yourself. Just click on guestingguide.com. The link will be in the show notes. But the guesting guide: prepare, launch, and execute a successful podcast tour. That's what mine is. I have a little more flavor around it. Free guide: launch a successful and profitable podcast tour. You'll learn the exact next steps to take to launch a successful podcast tour around what you already know, love, and do. Ready to reclaim your time and attract a community of paying clients? Download my free guide. How amazing and epic is that, by the way? So I went to Chat GPT and I started by saying, what are the top 10 questions that heart-centered entrepreneurs, and I did another one that coaches, course creators, online business owners have about guest speaking on a podcast. And it gave me 10 great questions. And then I also knew questions that people have been asking me. So I swapped some of my own questions in there. And then I, restated some of the questions. And basically, my questions are: how do I find relevant podcasts to guest on? That's a top question that I will answer. How do I find the right podcast to guest on that align with my message and target audience? I thought that was another great question. Now, keep in mind that I used Chat GPT to get me started. So I put a bunch of extra work into this. You don't need to. You literally could go to Chat GPT, say, give me the top 10 questions that X have about X. As soon as it gives it to you, you say, great, answer that question and give me a story to support that question. Bam, it'll spit all that out. You can do minor tweaks, and there's your asset. There's your list builder. There's your lead magnet. Super powerful. Cooper and I went deep into it, put a lot of work into it. He built an amazing landing page, and I refined the questions, added my own questions. You get it. I'll keep answering the questions, or asking the questions that are in my lead magnet. How can I pitch myself effectively to podcast hosts? How do I keep track of all this? How do I organize this? How should I prepare for a podcast interview? What should I talk about? How do I look and sound good? How do I speak better on a podcast? What if I'm an introvert? How can I leverage my podcast appearances for social proof and increase my online authority? And the last question: how should I follow up after the interview? Oh my gosh, this is where the fun part happened for me. And here's where the reflection came in. Do you understand? I didn't have this asset on Wednesday, 5 days ago, and now I do. Now I have an amazing landing page with an amazing headline, and I have this amazing asset to trade for your email address. Like, if you want to go on a podcast tour and explode your income, your authority, your impact, and you want to do it so you don't have to throw money away on Facebook ads and social media ads, trying to learn and trying to get some ROI, like, you can go on a podcast tour and build an organic traffic following that's lasting. You're building a base of SEO optimized content, all this great things. And I have this asset now. Oh my gosh, that's a reflection. Like, I did not have this 5 days ago, and now I have it, and I feel so empowered. On my podcast tour, I'm going to be talking about the power of guest speaking on podcasts to blow up your audience, to blow up your influence, to, increase your income, your authority, your impact. Oh my gosh. And I get to point people to this guesting guide. So ridiculous. I'm so excited. That's the big reflection point. Like, holy mackerel. Oh, and the process of creating it with Cooper was so fun. Man, we powered it out. It was incredible, the work we did. We jumped on Stu's call together to get inspired, to get motivated. And God bless Cooper for jumping in on the call with me. I was like, Cooper, you gotta get on this call with me. We gotta build this list builder. We gotta build this asset. I have to get this done, like a good, legit one, a new one. And so he's like, all right, I'm all in. So we sat on that 2-hour call, and just Stu was so powerful. He's so inspiring. It's like, don't let the gremlins slow you down. Keep it simple. And I'm telling you right now, do this. Go to Chat GPT, ask those questions, get those answers, and get your initial framework for your lead magnet. Get it done. And then he's like, just start it offering it as a Google Doc. You don't have to have a fancy PDF with pictures and perfect, formatting and bolding and all this crazy stuff yet. Just get it together and make the Google Doc available. So that's the inspiration that we were working from, and that's the inspiration I'm offering you right now. Don't let the gremlins slow you down. Just get started. Open up Chat GPT right now and type in what are the top 10 questions that X audience has about X topic. Bam. And then ask the next question. Say, thank you, Chat GPT. Now answer that question and give me a story that supports it. Bam. There's your framework. There you go. You could literally cut and paste all that, throw it into a Google Doc. There's your lead magnet. Then, as you move forward, you take the time to put in your own stories, put in your own answers, put in your own social proof, your own case studies. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Please go do that right now. I'm going to end this part 3 on that, and on part 4, I'm going to talk more to how my process of creating my lead magnet. I'll dive a little bit more into the questions that I answered. But yeah, I just want to say right now, I as I was reflecting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this asset now. I am empowered. I've got a foundational piece of my online business built. And oh man, it's so exciting. So that's what I'm reflecting on. I'm going to tell Cooper as well just how grateful I am for his help, because we worked round the clock. We cranked this thing out, and Stu gave us an opportunity. He said, hey, when you get your lead magnet done, I'm giving you till Sunday at midnight to submit it to us, and we'll pick 1 or 2 of our favorite, and we'll share it on his social media channels. And so Cooper and I were working to the midnight hour. We literally send it in. So I believe it was midnight Eastern time. I literally hit submit at 8:59 and 55 seconds. I had 5 seconds to spare. We had 5 seconds to spare. Oh my gosh. But that deadline was so empowering for us, working to get it done. And, it was so, just thank you, Stu, for offering up, that little carrot of you willing to share, your favorite lead magnets from this cohort on your social media channels, because that was a little extra bit that we needed to create something awesome. And again, Coops and I worked on it for 5 days. And I do want to say this too, it was very much an iterative process with him and I. And most of it was inspired and fun and bouncing ideas and copy and headlines, and he's working on the tech side of things, and I'm working on the actual stories, questions and answers, case studies for the lead magnet, and he's funnel hacking Stu's lead magnet, his landing pages and stuff. And he's literally like, all right, we need a picture like this. So I would jump up, change into a blue shirt, and then jump in front of a wall, and we'd snap a picture. And then he's like, okay, we need a picture for this. So I'd change into my gray shirt, or a brown shirt, jump in front of, a hedge, and snap a picture. Oh my gosh, we were having so much fun. But as we were getting close to the midnight hour, Cooper's like, just hit submit. They aren't going to look at it. We can always change it, right? Because you're giving them the links. You're giving them the landing page links, which has the ultimate link to the lead magnet. And he's like, no one's going to be looking at it tonight. Probably not in the morning either. It's more than good enough. Hit submit. And I'm like, no, it needs to be done perfect. We need to have it done perfect before we hit submit. And so we get into this little battle. And finally I realize, oh my gosh, all I need to do is hit submit, and we can change it and tweak it. Just hit submit. So we just hit submit, and I get to tell Coops oh my gosh, how much fun did we have over that 5 days, and just thank him for his inspired work and everything. And then also give him a little apology for giving him a little fight at the end. And to encourage him to keep challenging me, because boy, he was challenging me, which is great. God bless Cooper for challenging me. I got to tell him, thank you for challenging me and standing up, and awesome and amazing. So that's a bunch of the reflection, and boy, oh boy, I just went on that little tangent. But go to guestingguide.com, GUSTINGGUIDE.com, and you can see the podcast guesting guide that Cooper and I created. It's the guesting guide, prepare, launch, and execute a successful podcast tour. All right, listen in for part 4.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.